going on, everyone? My name is Eric. This is the Road to Freedom. Thanks for joining me. All right, so I realize I've done us a disservice. Here's how. Moved really quick. Look, I'm a creative, intuitive type. I am not the stable, conscientious type, right? I got average conscientious. It turns into more strategy. I'm not your guy who's like a steady Eddie plodding along, right? I move in ebbs and flows. So this channel will move in ebbs and flows. Unless one of y'all take over. And please take over. Okay. So we're going to do some warm-ups. We're going to go back to the basics, right? This is all about goal setting. This is what this subject's about. Once again, the reason why we kicked off with this, it's not about where you're at in life. You might be better at me or worse than me at something. I don't fucking know. I don't care. Why should you? Right? I've got my growth. It's all about your growth too, right? Okay. So in the basics of goal setting, we had talked about momentum. Whoo, it's freaking bright. We had talked about voice, right? So once again, momentum is the king. If you can't maintain momentum, everything else gets a lot harder, right? You're gonna have to go back to analyzing the difficulty, right, of your goals. You're gonna have to go back to a lot of things. So momentum is king. I write down my top 10 goals more often than not. I wish I could say it was every day. It's been a few years that I've been doing this. It's not every day, but it's more often than not, okay? That's fair. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go tap back into our voice, right? Again, one of the basics. There's two types of voice. There's two ways to build your voice. There's writing it down, there's speaking it out loud, okay? Ideally, you got friends, you got accountability partners where you're able to speak that shit out, right? Get it off your chest. Be held accountable about your goal. Right now, we're gonna write down our top 10 goals. Now, I evidently need to do some stuff with my phone, and I've done this video now 3 times, so I'm gonna speed it up. So I'm gonna act like I'm writing it. I've already written this down this morning. What I want you to do is just pause the video now. All right, cool. So your top 10 goals have been done. Again, write this down more often than not. I've been doing this for 6 years. What I found anecdotally is that about every 108 days, every 3 months, I get this treadmill effect. I'm like just aware of it, and I'm working on it. Don't get me wrong, and I use some of the basics that I talked about in phase 1 of this. But 3 months go by and boom, accomplish my goal, right? And I'm not even like being compulsive about it. It's crazy, right? So, all right, next warm up. We have positive polarity, we have negative polarity, we have neutral. Okay, so we're gonna go from a positive to a negative to a neutral to a positive. Again, we're gonna build our muscles. So let's do that now. Positive, let's go. We go. Okay. So one of the negative things about being in this lifestyle is that, like there's this thing called exposure therapy. And what you do is as you brush up against something more and more, it becomes less and less like emotionally volatile. And that's good and that's bad. Here's why it's good. You got something that happened to you, some kind of trauma, get around it, right? Think about it. In a controlled environment under certain circumstances, okay? If you're just going to be by yourself, I highly encourage you to go do a workout, right? Think about the thing, go work out. Think about the thing, go work out. And just do it like that, right? Or think about the thing and the thing that you love, which is what we're doing right now. How it can be negative is, dude, I've been super blessed, right? There's 2 things that people tell me to write a book about. 1 is my life, and 2 is about what I'm sharing with you right now. So I've been super blessed, but here's the thing, is that those things that have been super awesome, they're not as affecting me as much, right, over time. So I have to go find new awesome things. All right, anyway, going to negative, okay, negative polarity. Okay, So now we're going to move to neutral. There's a lot of stillness there. I kind of just want to stay. All right, for the sake of this video, let's move to positive. Damn, I was really stuck on that stillness. All right. Get me sick. All right, cool. All right, we're there. Cool. Hey man, if your goals don't motivate you, you got the wrong fucking goals. Okay, let's move on to the next step. All right, here's what I need you to do. We're gonna do this thing. Again, we're gonna start fucking with these things, right? This positive polarity. We're gonna start, then we're gonna mess with the negative, okay? But I need you to get better over here, okay? Learn how to use this. This is a lot easier than this, right? Okay, so we got a couple kind of emotions. Couple types of emotions that may be your chronic emotion, may not be. Here's my emotions that I've identified. What we're going to do today is we're going to focus on joy. Okay, so the same 2 exercises that we've done in the past. Hey, if it ain't fixed, or if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So I need you to pause the video along the way because I'm going to ask you to do it 3 times. Okay, and the video, for my battery's sake or my memory's sake, I'm only going to do it once. Okay, so once again, can you think about a time when a stranger who had joy was able to help themselves or others? So that's what we're going to do. Hey, can you think about a time when, a stranger who had joy, was able to help themselves or others? Go ahead and pause the video, do it 3 times. All right, moving on. Next, can you think about a time when someone you loved and you cared for had joy and they were able to help themselves or others? All right, moving on. This one should be pretty easy. Can you think about a time when yourself had joy and you were able to help yourself or others? All right, moving on. Now, we're going to use our handy-dandy pen and our paper. We're going to think about the senses, right? The stimulus. What can we do to cause a stimulus response where we get joy, right? So, is there anything that you can hear, you can see, you can smell, you can taste, you can touch that would bring you joy? What is something in the past that's done that? What's that answer? Whatever that first response was, write it down. If you don't know, think about music. What kind of music brings you joy? What kind of sounds? That's what we're looking for. Write that down. Cool. I'm moving really quick. Again, I don't have much storage on my phone. Let's pause the video. I want you to get ready for that. All right, so now that you're ready for that, what we're going to do is we're going to go from our chronic emotion to joy back to our chronic positive polarity. Okay, so we're just staying over here. All right, so go ahead and do that. Now, for us who are in joy, that's our chronic emotion, joy or excitement. Just go there and we'll stay there. We'll do it 3 times, okay? We're not excluded from training. Okay. So, for those whose chronic emotion is not joy, what I want you to do now is go to joy. For those whose chronic emotion is joy, I want you to go neutral. the stillness this morning. All right. For those of you whose chronic emotion is not joy, go back to your chronic emotion. For those of you whose chronic emotion is joy, let's get back to it. Let's meet right there. All right. Hell yeah. All right. Okay. Cool. All right. So now that we're there, we're learning some of the positive polarity emotions, right? I'm thinking about me looking sexy. That was my last goal that I wrote down. Now that we're able to mess with our positive emotions, right? We're gonna start expanding on this. We want to build some adeptness over here, and for those of us who are in joy today, right? Like that's a chronic emotion. What we may have found out is that it's easier to go from positive to neutral, right? Than it is to go from negative to neutral, right? These are really erratic emotions over here. My hypothesis is, and I'm not qualified to my thought is that the reason why they're considered negative, right? Negative, called negative polarity, because they're erratic, right? So it's easier to go from here to neutral than it is from here to neutral, okay? Those of you who have had a different chronic emotion, you're gonna start realizing that. We're all gonna experience it together. All right, see you soon. Bye.